How y'all doing out there? Um, we all up there, we up there in age. We not kids. We been around the block. Most of us by this age have dated a lot. Even if not, we've dated. We've gotten married. We've had all kinds of serious relationships. We've had divorces. So we've learned some of the do's and don'ts of dating, I guess we'll call it, compared to when we were young and just falling down every flight of stairs, every elevator shaft, learning, things for the first time, being green, as they say. So, to help you other folks who are new in the business to avoid some of the pitfalls that us, older people have been through, we just thought we pass them some information. And by we, I mean me. So let me not start that third party shit with y'all. I just wanted to tell y'all some things, that you should pay attention to when you're dating. And, I can run down the list real fast for you and give you an overview. And, as we go further into this love workshop, we'll talk about each thing. But, some of the things we're gonna go through in this class are certain types of pitches of the voice that, you project when you meet somebody. We're gonna talk about some faux pas like digging up the nose or digging up your ass. You know what I'm saying? Or making noises with your ass. And don't forget, we talking about dating and things you need to take into consideration while you on a date in particular, or while you in the dating process. Talking about your ex too much is number 3. Number 4, your ex showing up for situations when you out with your new boo. Number 5, moving too fast with your sex and your vows, like your pubes get to the date before you do kind of behavior. Number 6 is something I call post-traumatic syndrome disorder, in the form of hallucinations and assumptions that you carry into your dating that coming from some past shit. Number 7, calling people the wrong name. Absolute fucking no. Number 8, sending your representative to the dates, and then the real you popping out like Tourette's, and they don't know what's going on. Number 9, obviously the memes. All about yourself, talking about nothing but yourself on the date, where you may as well just be fucking yourself. Number 10, during the date, you're on the phone the whole time. Not just on the phone, but you have the people who are on the phone participating in the date, actually sending messages to the person that you're trying to get to know. Number 11, we all know this one. Your online profile pic don't match the person that's sitting in front of me. You put an apple online and you put a squash in front of me. The last one, don't tell them small lies, because they're going to lead to big problems. I promise y'all, we're going to get into each of these one at a time. So let's get the show popping. You ever meet anybody and, you having conversation and they think your voice is sexy, or you think their voice is sexy, and then a little later in time, the voice seem a little different, maybe not so sexy. Maybe some of you can relate. If you can't, I'm going to give you an example. One of my escapades, since this is all about the dates, I met somebody once and I wasn't feeling that well, so I had a cold. So, we talking on the phone and my voice is deeper. I'm going to try to emulate it for y'all. I'm like, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. We talking about things, getting to know each other. My voice is hoarse. It's down a little octave. You know how it is when you getting to know somebody. You're trying to give your sexy voice. So, I'm doing that and I'm adding that to this, voice I got going on because I don't feel well. So, she telling me my voice sexy and all this goody stuff going on. I'm telling her I'm sick, I can't meet you, blah, 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 until I get my germs right. We're talking our game, and, She's like, yeah, yabba dabba do on you. Y'all feel me? Everything's tight, everything's right. The next day we talk, I'm a little sicker, the voice is a little raspier, I can almost feel her excitement, she like, yo, I really like that voice. And I'm like, yo, she loving the voice, but then it finally hit me like a damn slap in the face. I said, wait, slow your roll, Cass. This ain't your real voice. This girl falling in love with this sick mofo. You feel me? So suddenly my thought was to her, I need to let you know. This ain't my voice, yo. I'm sick. My voice is raspy right now. It's deep. She's like, okay, it's all good. Hoping I feel better and everything. She all in love with that voice, Day 3, 4, 5, I'm still a little tight, but it's starting to get a little better. I'm doing a little bit of that, the voice clearing up a little, and she like, oh, I hear you getting better over there, but this voice got her going. I mean, I can almost feel her legs like wanting to wrap around my back and me like just take her out, because she was all into that. Like, I like that voice. I like that chase in that voice. I like that little deepness, and I'm getting better. As I'm getting better, my voice is getting better. And she's like, wow, that's different. I hear, you sounding to get better. Your voice is lighter than I thought it was. And I'm like, yeah, I told you that was, my deep voice when I don't feel well. And she's like, yeah, I really like that voice. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to stay sick if you want to hear it, because now I'm starting to sound more like me, and that excitement started disappearing a little, I could tell her whatever fantasy she had about this stud nailing her ass to the wall were a little like, yo, you sounded a little like me now. Like, and I'm like, I don't know, we may be day 8, 9, that hiccup in the throat is completely gone, and I'm talking normal. And, we having conversation, and, the next thing I noticed, this lady was asking me, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, yeah, what? So she's like, are you sure you're a stud? Because you sound like you might want some dick. That voice is really soft you got going on there. I think y'all already know the rest of this. That was it for us. I never got to meet her in person, because her fantasy was busted. So, like when I'm sick now, I try not to have any conversation with anybody so that, you can hear the bitch in me. You can hear the bitch in the stud, because, my mom gifted me with this voice. And I tell you one thing, if you were to hear my mom's voice, you would think my voice does sound like Barry White's voice right now, because she sounded like she was 6 years old. Her voice was so high pitched. But y'all know the moral to this story that we going on with here. Everything is not always what it seems. Now I understand we all have situations, where certain things happen with your body that are almost out of your control. In particular, one of those things for me is an itch. I can't tell my body, yo, look, I'm going to go out for a couple of hours, so I don't want you itching. A scratch going to hit where a scratch going to hit. Y'all feel me? And sometimes your stomach feel upset, and you're going to have to handle your business. And I understand all these things, but the point here is we got to have some type of fucking decency on how we handle these things if we want newcomers to remain in our lives, because first impressions really do play a role. Sometimes the brain thinks what it sees is what it's going to see again. So you don't want people, people say she fine, so next time I see her, she's still going to be fine. Y'all feel me? That's how the brain thinks. So you going on dates with people, you need to be leaving impressions, tattoos, and things embedded in their head that are favorable to you. You can't be going out here doing all this stuff that is going to create a memory of you that ain't looking so good. And in particular, we talking about things like digging up your damn nose, digging up your ass. Like I said, a scratch gonna hit where a scratch gonna hit. But you ain't gotta handle that scratch in front of your date. You know? You got a hair that's battling you inside your nose canal. You can take your ass to the bathroom and deal with it. The same with that itch that might hit you in your ass. You go to the bathroom, you get you some tissue, you get you some water, soap, handle your business. Whatever misdemeanor happened down there, none of my business. You gotta sneeze. Cover that shit. The worst thing you can do is sneeze and send DNA onto the shirt collar of the person across the table from you. It's not a good look. It really isn't. And people will kill you today because of COVID. Nobody wants to sneeze. You feel me? And I'm not talking to be mean. I'm just telling truths. Because if you're sitting out at dinner with someone and you see these things going down, Lord knows if you see multiple instances of things occurring, let's say they're up the nose and digging up the ass, what are the chances that you're going out on another date with this person? So do you want to be that person that's sitting there making these soft little noises out your ass because your stomach doesn't feel well and you're trying to pretend it's not happening, and you don't want to leave the table because you don't want to be rude? You don't want to be rude, but you don't think that farting is rude? The best thing you can do is say, look, excuse me, I just need to take a few minutes in the bathroom because I don't feel well, but I'm going to be okay. So let me order you a drink and I'll be back in a few minutes. You know, you gotta learn how to move with your problems. I'm not saying that you can't dig up your ass, you can't dig up your nose, and you can't fart. I'm telling you, don't do this on your date. And don't decide that during the dating process, don't just in your own mind pick a date that you've decided that you can do all these things around somebody because you now feel comfortable. And you haven't had this discussion with this person, and you 4 weeks in, and all of a sudden you feel like y'all known each other forever, and it's okay for you to leave the bathroom door open while you fart. And nigga, no, don't do it. You hear me? You have to have conversations about everything that takes place in your life, even digging up your nose, even scratching your ass, even sneezing without tissue, and them silent farts that will lay a whole room out. You don't come to me and tell me, oh, I feel so comfortable with you that I have to sit here and watch a booger on the side of your face and smell your stinky ass. You ask me if I'm in a position in my life where I want to accept that part of you. You heard? This is how you date people. Yo, you be on that date, you enjoying your company, y'all having a good time. Y'all talking about all kinds of things. You know how it go. Each other, your past experiences, your present experiences, your future goals, and conversation going good. You bringing up, they want to know why you broke up with your exes and all that shit. Trying to find the patterns in you to see whether or not you toxic, or what areas might be challenging. All the dating stuff that goes on, y'all know how it go. They mentioning their past. Y'all on some random person, we'll call her Diana. They talking about their ex Diana and how traumatized they were, because this is the last one, the most recent. The one that is recently taking them through. The one they're still mad at. The one they don't want to speak to. The one they told you they got blocked on the phone. The one they just hate. The one that made it hard for you and everybody else who tried to come after you. That's Diana. The one I want to forget her, they're telling you. I hate her. Can't stand her ass. I wish I never met her. That person. And you're like, damn, in your head, you're going, and you might even say it out loud. Well, I'm going to thank Diana for fucking up or whatever happened between y'all, because now I have the opportunity to date you. You move on from Diana because, you're going to focus on what's in front of you. 10 minutes later, you order some food for yourself, and this young lady orders us something. Your food get there, Oh my God, Diana used to order that all the time. Oh, really? You like, ain't that a bitch? Thanks, Diana, for having similar taste to me tonight. Hmm. You even might say it out loud. Well, hey, things didn't work out between y'all, but hey, she had good taste in this meal. Things are smooth again. You decide, dinner's delicious. You want to keep it going, so you want to take her somewhere else. How about we go to a jazz bar or something, listen to some music, get a drink, keep this conversation going. You're on your way to the place. You let me drive you. Since this date came here by Lyft, Uber, whatever. You gonna drive and you gonna make sure they safe. Okay, no problem. They get in the car. You put on your music. She snarls. Do you mind turning? Oh, what's wrong? You don't like this song? It's not a bad song, but it was one of Diana's favorite songs. Okay, I'm gonna turn because that's about the third time I've heard Diana's name on my date. So I'm turning. Well, we go to the jazz club. Pull up. I know people. Shaking people's hands, hugging them. She turned her back. What's the matter? Why you don't want to be social? Oh my God. Diana knows some of the people in here. You... What? You mean to tell me I'm out on a date and I'm basically living your ex's life? Not only am I living it, but you comparing me to her every action that I take. You talking about a woman that you hate, but you can't stop talking about her. Every 3 minutes, 4, 7, it's all the same fucking thing. When you're hearing an ex name, even if you hear it twice in an hour, it feels like you heard it twice in, 3 minutes? Because it ain't you, right? Y'all heard the point here. I understand we all have pasts, but this lady made her past, her present, and her future by talking about things she used to do with someone while she's doing something in the present with someone, worried about how it's going to affect their future. Someone who she doesn't even want to think about. So work that shit out before y'all start dating. Get those exes under control in your fucking heads. No disrespect, just truth. Then you have the situation. You're dating someone who never brings up their ex, and that's fine. Because guess what? You enjoying it. You dating. You don't know much. You like what you see. You like what you hear, and this person got all eyes on you, right? There's no comparing you to the past or reminding you that you remind them of something today or hearing them talk about something this person did that's going to have you traumatized for something that might happen tomorrow. This time you got one that's focused on the present. They don't talk about all that shit. The problem is the ex is crazy. And the ex is crazy enough to show up on a date. So you out chilling with this young lady. We talking about ladies, yeah, because that's what I like. We talking from my point of view. You out on this date with this young lady. All of a sudden, she starts sweating a little, looking a little uncomfortable, like she might even throw up, almost like that morning sickness. And I'm like, okay, it's first date, so I have nothing to worry about. It ain't mine. But anyway, don't move is what I hear her say. My ex is behind me. Okay, this is interesting that you're telling me to hide with you from an ex. That's a red flag for me because that's your past. So I don't know why I'm going back in a past chapter with you to participate in some bullshit. Okay? You hiding and your ex comes over anyway because they can smell you. They know you. They know the back of your damn head, your waist, everything about you because that's your ex. Your ex ain't too friendly to me, and your ex want to know why you're out. Your ex wants to call you to the side to discuss some things with you while you're on your first fucking date with me. I want to see if you're going to get up. I'm not judging, because there might be situations where people have to get up to avoid a situation between past lover and current potential. But I want to see what you're going to do. And personally, if you have someone in your life like that, you already know it. This is not the first time this person has pushed up on you to get you back. You know about their possessive behavior. You know this person is going to play run, catch, and kiss with your ass. Run, catch, and catch. You run, catch, and kiss. Let me get it right. You catch one person and kiss them. They coming after you. Why are you on a date with me and you haven't worked that shit out? These are the things we speak about that we call the first date no-nos. You know that ex is a fucking magnet to you. And you want to be a magnet to me. So you want three of us walking around. You clinging to me and this one clinging to you. And in somewhere in your head, you think that that's going to be okay. Oh, I know I'm not done with this bullshit yet. I know this person calls me 62 times a day. I know this person shows up on my job. I know this person meets me everywhere I go. I know this person tries to find out where I am. But I'm going to start dating somebody new so they can chase what? The fucking both of us? I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just asking some questions here, you know. You know this is all about introspection. That's the purpose, for us to talk about some of these things and really think about what the fuck we doing. Because when you just following your genitals and your little fluttering ass heart, you just seeing the part that's part of the Disney World fantasy, the happy ending shit. But you keep forgetting about what's in the next chapter or what's in the previous chapter, in this case, which is your damn ex who's trying to stay in the chapter you in now. So again, as we go down the list of dating concerns, let's put some more consideration into how we break something before we start to make something new. I don't think we asking for much here, because I personally haven't enjoyed the events that have happened in my life with shit that doesn't end before you try to begin something with me, and I got your fucking ex chasing me too. Been there, don't like it. Now, I understand that we all have different rhythms when it comes to, you know, when we have chemistry with people, when we out on dates, and when we decide when we gonna basically give it up. Some of us have given it up the first date. I've been there in my youth. Some of us wait weeks. We actually count. Okay, I'm not giving you any for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever. Some people do it based on certain things that happen in the relationship. You know, this person has to tell me they love me first. Some people do it based on engagements. Some people do it based on weddings. I need the ring on my finger and I need the contract before I open my legs. The point is, we all understand there are various speeds to move at, to conjugate, and to also take their vows. And I'm not one to tell people what to do. I just like to tell y'all all what to think about as you're doing what you do. Think about it. You've had 15 relationships in 1 year. Might you be getting too entangled in too many things? That's more than one per month, and none of them worked out. Might you be moving a little too fast for giving up that ass? Might these people be getting in these relationships with you to get that ass if they're leaving you right after you give it up? Think about this. Are you the type of person that falls in love really easily? Have you been in love with 24 people in 6 months? And have you been disappointed that they didn't work out? That's 4 people a month. That's 1 person a week. Is there a possibility, a slight possibility, that maybe you're in love with a lot of people that not people you're really in love with? Maybe you're in love with love? Think about it. So your pubes get to the date before you do. Might you be giving it up just a little too early? What do you think? The guy asks you for your number and you text him a picture of your ass. I don't know. Maybe just moving a little too fast. It runs people away. It intrigues people initially because they want to open a package. It's like a kid with a toy. I can't wait. They spend months pining. Can't wait for Christmas. Just so goddamn excited. I cannot wait to get to Christmas. Because I want those things that I do not have. And I am so excited about it. Christmas comes. I have the time of my life. A couple of days later, I'm done. I want new toys. Might you be those toys, people? I understand we all want to date. We all want to feel special, have a good time. And I'll take the we out, many of us. Let's go there, because there's no absolute. But think about how you're doing it. Don't sell yourself out too fast. Don't sell out yourself for your money, your ass, your confidence, anything about you. Stay whole. We going on a serious note now. Stay whole. Stay true to yourself. It's okay to go out there and have some fun. You can even give up that ass fast, but know what you're doing. Be in control. Don't be doing it with poor mental health. Have a good time. You can have all kinds of sex and make all kinds of vows. Just have some healthy mental shit going down. We're not going to drag this out because this is the way it is. It's the truth. It's not much to say about it. Love yourself. Stop throwing yourself at everybody just to feel somebody want you. You already have enough people in your life. You just got to pay attention and use them better. I believe many of us, and I've done it myself, bring PTSD to our dating game. As we get older, we go through experiences and they accumulate. And you start seeing patterns across people. Some of them are real, some of them are not. They're just that you just happen to find two or three people in a row that share the same trait that you don't like, And it might be because you're attracting those people because of something you do. But at the end of the day, PTSD comes with a lot of hallucinations and assumptions as well. I went out on a date once and minding my business, doing my thing, having me a good time. No big deal. Sat myself down at the table. Didn't think to pull out the young lady's chair on the other side. Just wasn't thinking about it. Shit. Prerequisite. That's optional. All of a sudden I hear, that's what I'm talking about. See, this ain't gonna work. I'm like, I'm sorry, young lady. What was that? This ain't gonna work. What? Okay. You want to talk about it? Not really. Okay. That's okay too. Then that's followed by, but you ain't pulled my chair out. You ain't do it now, mean you ain't gonna never do it. Mean you ain't gonna open the door. Mean you ain't gonna do this. Mean you... That's all I hear eventually is ooh. It's like a wind blowing, and it's not like I'm not trying to listen. I just end up in a land that, I travel to when people begin to hallucinate and make all kinds of assumptions based on a little insight into something, which a lot of times is nothing. Be careful with what you say and what you think while you out on these dates, or you gonna find yourself knowing that this is your last date with people. I tell a friend of mine all the time, allow the process to play out. Many times we have a habit of jumping in and interrupting people when we hear the first sentence because we've heard the second sentence before from other people. So we assume we know what the second sentence is going to be. Not only do we jump in, but we react to some shit that we heard somebody else say. And I hope y'all paying attention, because the nigga sitting in front of you didn't say it. You just assume they're going to say it because your last nigga said it. And now you're treating the nigga in front of you like that's the nigga you had before. And guess where you're going to end up, because they're going to start calling you what? Kukula. Another thing we talking about, which is a truth. Stop presuming, stop assuming, stop hallucinating, stop thinking you know what is going to be said, and allow people to work out their processes. You'll find many times that what you think you are about to hear is not what's going to be said, and the ending will change. Slow your asses down. Everybody stop trying to be Judge Judy Cleo combo, meaning someone who thinks they know what's going down has already judged it and made a decision. That's my Judge Judy Cleo. Slow your rolls, breathe a little, and have more fun. Hey, and while you're in the middle of having all that fun, always remember to be present, as we talked about earlier, because if you're not, you could get caught up in some shit. Like, for example, calling somebody the wrong name. That's a sure way to get some questions asked, to lead to some distrust, and have people thinking you're not really into them. I personally haven't had it happen to me, at least that I know of, because, women can be real smart. They'll call a name, and they'll be done called at you, and they'll add a story to it. They'll be like, hey, Wiley. And they like, oh, shit, I done called Cass Wiley. Here they go, Wiley. Say he going to the store. You want something? That kind of shit. Women are smart enough to save themselves from these errors. Dudes, I'm not trying to shame y'all or anything, but y'all got to get better at it. Y'all be like, Belinda, and then your girl go, who the hell is Belinda? What y'all say? Oh, no. That's the dumbest fucking answer. You basically telling your woman that you got like some form of Tourette's, where you just call random fucking women's names out just because. That's not making your ass look good. And women, forgive me for giving away your secret today, but we telling some truths, right? And men, y'all could use a little help in this area, because y'all just as weak as fuck when it come to defending calling the wrong name. Y'all want to practice with me? Hey, babe. Yo, Shelly. Who the fuck you calling Shelly? Oh, baby. Shelly says she gonna be around later to try to sell us some Girl Scout cookies. Yeah, that's some lady I ran into at the market. She said her name's Shelly, and she gonna be on our block. So maybe we should get some coins together or something. That's how you get out of that shit. That might not have been the best example. Might not have been. But y'all get my point. Work on that shit. And I'm not encouraging lies either. I'm just showing you the difference between how men and women move when they busted and shit. Women give you that cute little thing. They throw their little hip in the air, or they pucker their lips, or they do something they know is going to turn you on. They might push their little titties up a little more. Something to just calm you down a little bit. While they tell you this little bullshit about Mark. You're like, who the fuck is Mark? Mark your calendar, baby. We going, see what I'm saying? See how smooth that was? You gotta get like the chicks with it. Not that I'm encouraging any cheating, because I don't encourage it at all. I think it's horrible, actually. I'm simply saying these are ways to get out of calling the wrong name, because calling the wrong name doesn't always mean you're cheating, but people tend to think that it does, especially if you call the name of the gender that you're attracted to. You understand where I'm going with this, people? Do I need to drill this lesson in anymore? When you call the wrong name, be ready for a sentence that follows it. There are some of you who call the wrong names already. Take those names now and do some homework. Come up with ways to add a sentence, to form a sentence with that name starting at the beginning of the sentence. Practice. See what you come up with. And if there's at any point in your relationship where this actually helps you, feel free to leave a note in the comments and thank me, because I'm all about looking out for my peeps. Now, I know we all like to date, and we like to be liked. If you like somebody, your goal is to try to get this person to show interest in you, like you're trying to show in this person, correct? So, you making sure you're on your game, And I tell people, be on your game, be polished, do the right thing, but don't send a representative. Never send a form of yourself to a date that's not going to remain. It's a simple rule. Because at some point in a relationship, the real you is just going to pop out. And a lot of times that real you gonna pop out when you ain't ready. Like you in your representative, you in your character, and that nigga gotta come out because something happens. You know, you trying to, you on your date, you speaking perfect English. Hello, how are you today? May I order anything for you? Can I get you something while you're at the bathroom? Is there anything I can do? You know, you on your game. You making sure there's no lisp. You're making sure you enunciate. You look at her in her eyes so you can show slight hunger. You don't want to show desperation, of course. You know, you're on your game. You're showing your representative. You're sitting up straight. You know, you're being gentle with her. You're using words from poetry. You're doing it all. The problem is, this ain't you. It's you trying to woo. Because guess what? Your friend just arrived to the same place you at. Y'all didn't know each other were going to be there. You both out on dates. And guess who they see? You. And guess where they coming? Up to you. And guess what they want to do for a minute? Have a little chat. And guess what comes out of their mouth? Hey, motherfucker, what's good? What are you going to do? How are you today? It's nice to see you, Charlie. Or you going to be like, what's that, nigga? You feel me? Now you caught. The real you got to come out to talk to this one. But you want to be the representative to hit this one. Just be yourself. Because the real one for you, she going to be good with you saying this. She going to be calling you boo. She going to be hood with you. If you ratchet, you going to find your ratchet. Don't go out there and find you a girl who ain't ratchet and play a game with her. Because it ain't going to work. And if you're not ratchet, don't go out there and play with ratchet and think you're going to be cool in that group. Because at some point, you're going to be running for your damn life. For whatever they into that you don't know how to get into because you ain't real. So my biggest advice to people who are out here dating is to be honest. Even if you think the you that is you, people aren't going to like, or it's not going to yield the same amount of interest. Because at the end of the day, I know some of you be like, yo, I'd rather get some and they leave my ass than be my real self and not get no ass. I can't fuck with y'all and I ain't going to try to. I'm speaking to people out here who want to be in some real wholesome relationships with some longevity, and you want to be able to feel free being yourself, you know, and not live a lie in order to have a piece of pie, you know. And like I've said many a times on my past shows on the radio and such, I only speak about what I've been through. It may not be for you, but I'm just telling my story so that somebody may be able to get something out of it. And what I do know is that being yourself in the end yields much better results, because you're going to end up with a match, honey. When you're not yourself and you win something, that's a mismatch, whether you want to own it or not, because you have this possession because of an illusion. So own that shit and fix that shit. Respectfully, these are truths. Okay, this is a special message for a few of you special people. When you're going out on dates and getting to know people and they're getting to know you, yes, you want this person to get to know you because you want someone to like you for who you are. You don't want to mix it up with someone that you just told that I do ABC, and then, you know, you find out they don't like it. You can end it right there instead of getting with someone based on just looks and then finding out about ABC, and then, you know, it hurts more because you invested a little more. So the point is, let's, you know, try to have some conversation about the real us. Don't do that Me Too shit just to get somebody's attention. Oh, me too. I like that too. Lying just because you want someone's attention. Keep the shit real, man. A lot of times you be surprised when you tell people you don't like something they like, they cool with it. Because we all should have other people in our lives anyway to feel different aspects of it. I ain't gotta like horror movies like you do. You take your bestie with you to the fucking horror movie. Don't put all that shit on me, because that's not fair. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I say be honest. Why you want to sit at the horror movie with your eyes closed, crying inside, scared to death, about to shit on yourself, you don't want to be there, when you can just say, look, I don't like horror movies. They scare me to death. I close my eyes. I cry and I shit on myself. Your mate's going to be like, stay your ass home because I don't want to smell your stinky ass anyway. And you're going to ruin the movie for me sitting here crying. Now, let me call Diana Let me call my other friend. We're using that name again. So the point is, be yourself, tell the truth. Now, in consideration, why you explaining to people who you are, don't go overboard. Don't do it to the point where you start to appear as self-centered and a narc, where all you're doing is talking about yourself and you're not allowing time to get to know the other person. It is a turnoff. It's like watching a soliloquy form of a movie that doesn't end. This live streaming some fucking documentary and you're the only one starring in it. And I'm not trying to hurt any feelings, but that's how that comes across to people. People want you to ask them questions as well. People want you to care enough about them to want to know. Even if you speak of yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I like to boat. I like to skydive. I like to play chess. Don't stop there. Go, what do you like to do? Reciprocate the shit. Don't sit here and say, I like to boat, I like to skydive, I like to do this, I like to do that. Y'all know that sound I talk about. It's just a ooh. Because nobody's listening anymore. Because you're droning. You're going on and on and on about yourself. And I understand some people are very talkative and there are people out there who are very shy who just want to hear somebody talk. But at some point, my God, you got to speak too. Or you're going to start looking like a deaf mute, personally, to me. I don't want to deal with someone who doesn't say anything, and I don't want to deal with someone who talks all of the time. I don't need a 50-50 balance either. You can talk more than me. I can talk more than you the next day. I really don't give a shit. As long as there's some type of breath and life taking place in our lives that's somewhat balanced, where you're being heard and I'm being heard. Don't become one of those people that everything that happens in your relationship is about you talking about everything that's wrong. You talking about everything about you. You talking about everything all the time. And your mate says nothing. How can you love a mate who says nothing? What do you know about that person? I know I'm jumping a line right now, but that's the truth. You can't know what you don't show. So leave some room for both. Like I said, even if it's 90-10, I don't give a shit what your ratio is, as long as it's working. We all must breathe. We all must grow. Stop that meme shit. It ain't cute. Now, I'm not the jealous type. I'm not selfish. Basically, you can do what you want in a relationship with me. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I may offer you insight to try to dig deeper into yourself, but I'm not going to tell you what to do or be controlling. It's just not my thing. I could be in the room with you talking. You need to be excused and go deal with someone else. It's all good. But the one thing I am going to speak on is, when you getting to know someone and you're trying to spend time getting to know them. A good friend of mine once said something to me that made sense. They said, dating is kind of like a honeymoon. You're in a cloud with someone and you're trying to get to know each other to decide if you want to move forward or or how you want to move forward, whether you want to be friends, nothing at all, lovers, whatever, take it to whatever level. So we need to allow each other time to do those things in our life and, be considerate of that as the people who are on the sidelines, the friends, the family, and someone in our life. Meet someone they like, Try not to be selfish and expecting this person to always be the way they were with us because they're trying to take some time to meet, to to exchange with someone, dialogue and get to know them, and they're focusing on that. So don't get jealous and that's my friend and oh nigga, if you coming up into this, you're gonna have to deal with me. No, I don't. Not on that level, because a variable has been introduced. Things have to change. I'm never suggesting that you change your relationships with your friend and family, but sometimes we might have to, just a little. Especially, use this example. I'm out on a date, and as soon as we get out the car and in the restaurant, you mind if I take this phone call? I don't give a damn, because that's me. You do what you got to do in your life. We all have things going on. It could be an important call. It could be somebody you need to tell something. I don't give a damn. Live your life. Because if somebody passes you on the street and has a few words, you're going to have them with them. So, I'm going to tell you can't be on the phone? Nigga, please. But anyway, the problem can be here. You're always on the phone. The whole date on the phone. Not only on the phone, but actually involving the strangers that your date has never met, never laid eyes on in all of the conversation. Like the people on the phone are participating on the date, sending messages to the person across from you, asking them questions and all kinds of shit. And you haven't even had a chance to receive any questions from the person that you're on a date with. That is a little overboard for me. At least let me get to know you some before you introduce your tribe. Don't come on a date with me and have 7 people on the phone, on fucking WhatsApp or Zoom, looking at me as you flip your phone around to show them how cute I am as each one asks questions. Now, don't get me wrong. I think this might be a wonderful game show. And then any of you who beats me to the idea, I can't stop you because I don't put the shit on a recording. That could be fun, but I don't want that to be my life. I'm trying to get to know you. I'm only going in one vagina, not just 6. Friends, I'm just saying. Now this one is for the extra special people out there doing the extra special things. It's a question. Why do some of you go out on dates with people and have them expecting someone to show up who looks like your profile picture and you look nothing like the picture? Now, I had this experience before Facebook when there were no computers. I had a phone date with someone who described herself to me. She said she was 140 pounds. She was light-skinned. She had long hair, green eyes. She went on and on. Fabulous. Me, I'm young. I'm horny. I'm stupid. I'm going to meet her in a lobby, and she's going to call my name. And that's how we're going to know it's each other. Well, I'll just tell you this. When I arrived to that lobby, the lady who called my name didn't look anything like the description that she gave me. Till today, I wish I had said, "I'm sorry, ma'am. You have the wrong person." But stupid young me had the nerve to tell the truth. In fear. Didn't just tell it. Told it while I was nervous and scared to death. Because this lady, in my humble opinion, without any shade, without any lies, without any exaggeration, without being mean, took that weight of hers, that 140 pounds, and performed dyslexia and mixed up the motherfucking numbers. She switched the 1 and the 4. How do you think this worked out for her? How do you think it worked out? That was a 5-minute date. Just to be polite. You understand me? And y'all still doing this shit today online. The picture is 140 fucking pounds. She light skinned. She got long hair. And 410 is coming through the door for the first date in person with a half an inch of hair. And she ain't light skinned. And you think you coming through the door with a fucking smile on your face is going to make things better? And you might not be ugly. I'm not saying that. I'm not body shaming. It could be the opposite. You post a picture, you 4'10". You got a half an inch of hair. That's what I like. And you got big titties. Maybe that's what I like. Maybe that's what I need. And then you show up $140 with long hair and you light skin. Hey, that's gonna be a problem too. So don't think I'm trying to body shame here. I'm making a point. Make that shit match. At least within a couple of years. Or okay, maybe your pictures are 10 years apart, but at least look like that bitch when you show up. Because sometimes black don't crack. Don't play with people like that. And then you talking about you upset because I left the date. As soon as you sat down, I got up like a motherfucking seesaw. And now you're upset? You're upset. Mm-mm. Now, for the grand finale, we're talking about small lies and how they become big problems. I've been there myself. I've told little small lies, on dates to see where it's going to lead to. Never to harm anybody. Never to paint myself as something I'm not, like I'm better than I am or anything. But to test people, You might tell a little one to see, you heard something about somebody. Let me put this out there and see if they're going to kick it back to so-and-so. Or let me keep that part of my life to myself for now. I've learned, though, now that I'm older, I just respectfully tell people I don't want to discuss that. I don't have to make up something to keep you out of my business, or downplay something and lie and turn a corner. I can just say I don't want to talk about it. Wasn't so smart back in the day. But them small lies, they can fuck you up now. You got to be careful what you lie about, too. I have someone else's story. Falling for somebody. How many kids you got? I got 2. Huh. I got 2 for you, because you don't need to know my business. What's your name? My name Lucy. Her name really Mary, but she gonna tell you her name Lucy, and she got 2 kids because she just met you. She don't want you in her business. What if she don't like you? She don't want you to know nothing about her. Okay, 7 weeks in, your name done changed. You done told me the truth. This is my real name. I ain't want you to know in case I ain't want to fuck with you. You like, oh, it's a little different, but I can accept that. Okay. The part I can't accept is that you have 7 kids as your reveal. Not because you have 7 kids, because if you had told me day 1 you have 7 kids, I'm good with that. It's that you lying to me now. I'm thinking, maybe this could lead to somewhere. I'm budgeting in my head all that shit, because that's what lesbians do. We get married on the first day. So I done budgeted for a family of 4, and now you telling me I got a family for 8. What the fuck is going on here? You can't be lying to people because you don't know what people are doing with their lies, how they building in their heads on them lies. Like the little lie we talked about earlier. Oh, girl, I love horror movies. Small lie, me too. Okay, 6 years in, your mate wants to go see a horror movie every week. You didn't know that shit was going to happen, did you? You've been going to see horror movies for 6 years now. You going to see a therapist behind your mate's back because the shit done traumatized you because you can't stand fucking horror movies. But for some reason, you think if you tell your mate you don't like horror movies, they're going to take somebody else to the movie and cheat on you because your mind done concocted this story that if I don't do the things that I don't like, that I'll lose my mate. So I'm going to tell these little small lies. So what happens when you caught in all the small lies? Now it's worse because your mate's like, now I don't know what you were lying about. Don't start off that way, people. I gave y'all a long list. I gave y'all the 12 commandments of dating, basically. Things to do, take into consideration to possibly get you to the second date, the third, the fourth, or wherever you want to be in that situation. Now, I am no expert in any of these areas, and I may be wrong about all of these things. I just thought it would be fun to share them with you, with the hopes that you'll think about these things. Use your own path to get where you gotta go. But, let's try to do a little better with our dating and stop dissing people so much and all the bullshit we be doing through the process and have a little more fun. Peace.